Hey mamas, I've got a 10-minute advanced postpartum abs sculpting workout for you today. It's not for beginners, it's if you're further along in your postpartum journey, have healed your diastasis, and are ready to do some abs sculpting. Let's get started on our backs. We've got a dead bug, so you're gonna bring your knees over your hips, your arms up straight in the air. You're gonna extend your right arm and your left leg down and away from your body, bring it back up, and repeat on the other side. So it's opposite arm, opposite leg. Knee stays directly over the hip, and as you're moving, I want you to pull your belly button in toward your spine, press your lower back down toward the floor, and you can put your hand on your stomach and that opposite hand. So the goal here is keeping that lower back engaged, pushing down toward the floor, and then as you're extending that leg, pulling that belly button in to engage your transverse abdominis. So it's opposites, there's a little bit of coordination involved. If you don't get it right away, no worries. But I do want you to make sure you're keeping that opposite knee directly over the hip as we move here. Let's get one more in. Then we'll rest. All right, we're gonna move on to our next exercise, a reverse crunch. So you're gonna keep your knees right here over your hips, hands by your sides. We're gonna bring those knees up and in just a little bit. So you're going in, lifting that tailbone, releasing knees back over the hips. So it's a little reverse crunch. So we're never lifting the upper body. We're just using those lower abs to lift the tailbone off the ground. Doesn't have to be a big movement here. Your goal is just to bring those knees in and up. Now, when you bring the knees in, see how I'm just bringing them in just slightly and then trying to lift up? I don't want you to pull them in toward your chest. Think in and up, immediately lift. And that's gonna get those lower abs engaged and keep you from resting, right? We wanna keep that tension in the core, and when we keep that belly pulled in, keep those knees slightly in front. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Just take it at your own pace here. No pressure to get a certain number of reps. And we're gonna rest here. All right, we've got a double leg extension. So legs straight up. You can point or flex your feet, that doesn't matter too much. Hands by your sides, palms up. We're gonna take both legs down and away from the body, nice and slow. Pull back up. So as you're lowering those legs, take care to make sure your lower back, again, it's pressing down toward the mat, toward the floor. And if you start to feel a lift, when you start to feel your core pooch out, your back lift, or you're just losing that core control, that's how far I want you to go. Stop right there. It might be here, might be here, might be all the way down here. You can go as low as you want to. This is a more challenging exercise, but that's why it is in my advanced postpartum ab workout. It takes a while to work up to. All right, we're gonna stop there. We're going to a supine oblique twist. I want you to move away from the wall, spread your arms wide, palms up. We're gonna take the legs straight up, drop them to the front of the room, keeping that opposite shoulder on the floor. Ooh, did you hear that hip pop? We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So dropping those legs both at the same time. And the rule of thumb here is you want to keep both those shoulders anchored toward the floor. And you can also bend the knees here and do it this way. That lessens the intensity. We want to keep those shoulders pressing down so we keep that tension in the obliques. We also create some spinal mobility here, so that should feel really good on your hips, your upper back. Just rotating as far as you can. All right, rest. All right, coming onto our side forearms. So elbow under shoulder, legs extended. We're gonna hold, lifting the hip, lifting the arm. So you've got that elbow under shoulder, fist forward at 90 degrees. You're lifting through the underside of your waist, pulling your belly in, reaching straight up. Your bottom elbow to your top wrist should be in a straight line here. Your focus is engaging those obliques, your TVA, lifting through the underside of the hips, so you're engaging all those muscles in the hips, the core, and if you need to, your option is to drop that bottom knee and use it as a support. Or you can come here, scissor the legs. Stacked is the hardest option here. Just breathe, pull that shoulder away from your ear. All right, come down and rest. We're gonna stay on this side. Now we're gonna take that side plank, we're gonna pulse at the top, pushing the hip 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Ready? So you can be in the modified versions, you can be in the split leg versions, the scissor leg versions. But what you're doing here is lifting through the underside of that waist, reaching the arm up, pushing the hip high as you can, and then just dropping it an inch or two. It's a really small movement. You can feel that really switch on the obliques. Now, if you need to take that front leg forward for more support, or if you need to bend the bottom leg, go ahead. You wanna keep that belly pulled in, remember? Keep those abs engaged with every single pulse. This is one of the more challenging ones, that's why it's getting close to the end. And rest. We're gonna do that same sequence on the other side. So starting with the forearm plank hold, making sure that elbow is under shoulder, 90 degrees. Again, take the bent leg or straight leg version. We're lifting and we're holding. So can you feel that tension in the side of the body? So you're gonna feel it in your shoulder a little bit, but if you're really collapsing and leaning into that arm, you're gonna feel it more than you want to. So really try to press through that forearm, lift through the underside of the hip, so you're feeling it all up here in those obliques as you're bracing, pulling that belly in, as you're lifting and reaching, creating space, bringing that arm up as high as you can. And breathing, of course, don't forget that. That breath will only help your muscles. All right, relax. We're gonna do the same thing with the pulses. Deep breath in. Lift and pulse, here we go. So a little pulse, you can feel the intensity, right? Small micro movements, engaging those small muscles and the big ones in your core. You do a lot of my workouts, you know I love to add things to planks, side planks, just to make it more fun, interesting, take your mind off the burn. And it's those small little movements, those little challenges that really make a big difference in your core. Good work, guys. All right, we're moving to our last sequence on the belly. So we've got 2 exercises left. We're going to a prone swimmer. So arms straight out front. We're gonna take those arms back, lift the chest, sweep them around, and go back down to the floor. So as we sweep the arms back and around, we're lifting the chest, squeezing the glutes, chin stays tucked, eyes on the floor. Now you're not lifting your legs here, you're just trying to get that upper body off the floor, so pull those elbows back into your ribs and really create that space. Feel your lats working, your lower and upper back, and your glutes. Squeeze that booty at the top. Trying to get as high off the ground as you can. I want you to then lift everything above your belly button. Try to get it all off the floor. All right, moving to our last exercise. We're gonna stay on the belly, knees wide, heels together, feet flexed. Hands together, head on your hands. We're gonna lift those knees up and down. So just the legs now. Squeezing your butt, driving those heels toward the ceiling. Now this takes a little bit of coordination. You're trying to keep those heels pulled in, lift those knees. So we're really engaging that back body here, the glutes, the hamstrings are isolating, right? You can't use your arms, you can't use your upper body. These are great for strengthening that posterior chain, which is so important for a strong core. Almost there. We made it. 10 minutes, advanced ab work. So if you found that challenging, keep going for a few weeks. You'll notice you will start to get the hang of some of those more difficult exercises, and that way you can build on this one and progress throughout. If you need something a little less advanced, go back to my beginner postpartum C-section workouts, work your way up to this one, or try my postpartum ab program where we start with beginner phases and then move to more advanced exercises like these. So this is a great one to do until you've mastered this, and then you can move on to some of my more intense ab workouts. But I hope you enjoyed it. Comment, let me know what exercises or what ab workouts you'd like to see next.